Helplessness. Most time people get online to solve a problem, to learn something, to figure something out. Most people in the world we live in actually struggle with being, or with the feeling of helplessness. Helplessness creates a state of loneliness. And in that loneliness, you then isolate yourself. Through isolation, you don't even figure out who you are. My phone rings very specifically throughout the day, and most of the conversations I have are very intentional. And it's because we're helpful. In my opinion, you need 3 to 5 people that you could call in any instance where you might be seeking clarity to improve your perspective. Let me get to the point. In the dog world, I've impacted a lot of things, forced people to ask a lot of questions. I know that because every time I get online, someone's got a question for me. I read one earlier. Dog dislocated his shoulder. The vet only gave me some pain pills. Do you think that was, is that enough for the dog? I'm like, I didn't reply back, but you go, wow. When you go down my messages, people associate me with being helpful. I could go down the line with how many crazy messages I get. And you're saying to yourself, okay, this person literally went to the vet, literally been through this, been through that, and they still are checking to see if I've given perspective. Why? Because I learned this when I was a kid. It was actually one of my dad's, I don't know what to call them, girlfriends or women or whatever you want to call them. But I said, you're pretty giving. And she said, Trevor, make a fist. She said, what can get in a closed hand? Nothing. So when you open your hands, you don't ask for a handout, but you always try to lend a hand if you can. And I thought to myself, that's interesting, because here I am today grown and still remembering that story. And then, of course, my dad gave me the tools to make sure I was never helpless. So part of this story side you're watching is to ensure that as my journey or story unfolds, that I have these moments of clarity where I get to share an opportunity for you to see things in a better way. I do nothing if I can't help. If I can't help even someone, if I can help you become your best, I don't want any part of it. I've sent people out the gym at times, athletes who didn't have bigger dreams. If you just want to work out even, you go, well, you can go down the street and work out. If you're not trying to get to the next level or compete with the best of them, this isn't the workout for you. I wouldn't tell nobody to do what I'm doing. I wouldn't tell anybody to attempt to build something from nothing. All the people who ever made it said, if you told me and showed me what I would have went through, I probably wouldn't have done this. But then you get so far in, you can't go back, and that's kind of where I'm at. I said I've reached the edge of the internet because now it's not about watching one more person tell a truth or share some words of advice or give perspective. If I need financial advice, I know 3 people I could call that make real money. If I need business advice, I know a lot of people I can call. If I need a friend or food or cooking advice, I can call some people. There's really no scenario where I can't get on my phone and make a phone call. Therefore, you're asking yourself, what am I doing online? Well, this is my giving back. I wasn't given a lot as a kid. And I was taught a lot of bad lessons from some not so good people. And I say it to this day, never teach a good kid a bad lesson. These people, they didn't care about compassion, empathy, or how you felt or what you were going through. They never asked. I don't remember one time, maybe when I got older they did, but as a kid, normally people have a parent or somebody said, hey, you okay? And now if you're sick, you're okay. They go, hey, you okay? Let me get you such and such. But in retrospect, I never was shown empathy or empathy or compassion. And that's led into this adult life where I struggle. And somebody's like, I'm like, yo, figure it out. And because of that, I don't trust people at all. Now I'm learning to trust people because I'm at home and people come and they hang out and have a good time and I'll go to bed. Reminds me of Dan back in the day. Dan, I get to his house sometimes and his son would have friends over and this is trouble. You be safe, man, and get home and so I'm going to bed. He'd get up at 5 every day. And he would go to bed about 8 o'clock. He said, man, that man was like, work out for the first hour, make himself some breakfast, and he'd go to bed or be in the bed by 8:30 all the time, man. Those are kind of people I respect. Being helpful is going to get you places. Being helpless is going to keep people looking down on you. When you get to a certain age, nobody cares about what your dreams or your hopes or your aspirations. They're just like, what are you doing? Oh, nothing? And I can't do anything for you. And one of the other videos, or I'd say this. The first time I felt like I was actually genuinely being helped was by people who didn't even know me. And the more I began to build something, the more people came out of the work to help. Tim Callahan helped me realistically start T-Fit. Megan Dudek helped me get into Natera. I helped myself with the dog thing, and Richard Berry now helps us feed our dogs. Foundation. Every time I helped myself, somebody came out of the woodworks and said, how can I help? Or they wanted to participate in my growth. When you ain't doing nothing for yourself, there's nothing for nobody to do for you either. Because then you just become, I think the word they use now was a mooch. And you take up space. And you take up people's mental space. But because I chose to help myself, here we are today. I'm trying to find a way. Because here's the other truth. I'm not passionate about nothing. Like, I know enough to like get stuff done, and I think through stuff. I'm like, I tell you it's gonna work, it works. I'm not really like the thing that gets me going. I used to harbor a bunch of anger and rage, and that felt like, oh man, he's passionate. No, I just hate stupid people. But then when you remove everything out of your life, and people aren't around anymore, you go, what should I care about? I don't remember a lot of tweets. But I remember one of my, calling my kids, he's not a personal kid, but his description when he was younger, going through whatever he was going through. And I know everything. I'm going to tell you his story. This ain't his story. But this scared me. And I remember to this day, because it was on Twitter, he said, the last time I cared was never. And that's all because he never felt cared for. So he felt helpless. How do I get my mom to love me? How do I get my dad to care about me? How do I get this, and that? I don't know. My cousin Trey one time said, Trev, how do you think people care? I said, I don't know, dude. That's the hardest thing. But if I were to give you any advice on how to get people to care, get to where you're going, care about yourself. The more you care about yourself, the easier it is to get to where you're going, people. Being helpless is a choice. Being helpful is a decision that you make to better yourself. And the first person you always have to help is simply yourself.